Well, that's not good.
We have got a little bit of a situation here. The hood on the Maverick is stuck in the closed position. So in this video, first and foremost, I'm going to be showing you how to get your hood back open if this happens to you. And then we're going to focus on the root cause of the problem, why this is happening, and how you can fix it permanently so it doesn't happen again. So first things first, obviously the most important part of this video is going to be getting this stuck hood back open. When I pulled on that release inside the cab, nothing happened. It was just loose. There was no tension there at all. The spring is still intact, so when you pull on that, it springs back into position. But in terms of tension on the cable that goes to the latch up here, there was no tension there. That leads me to believe that there's going to be the root cause of this is probably going to be an issue with the tensioning in the cable that controls the latch mechanism.
So in order to get this hood back open, it's actually really simple. The first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open up your door, and this trim panel right here needs to come off. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and peel up this bottom part and then pull out that first little clip that's down here in the bottom. All you have to do is start just kind of gently pulling up on this. It'll pull out from underneath the door seal here, and then you can just very gently kind of slide your fingers up and just pop all those clips out. So with this trim panel off, we can get a good look at the top side of the release mechanism inside the cab here, and you'll notice from top down when I pull on this, it's pulling the entire cable downwards, which it should not be doing. If you take a look, so that's the bottom of the cable right there, that fat part. If you take a look between my finger and that little orange piece right there, there's a hole in the plastic, and that's the clip that this is supposed to be sitting in. And that's why when I pull this hood release, the entire cable is moving, because it is not sitting in that clip. So in order to fix this, all you have to do is get a screwdriver and then set it right in this little crook here, and that way you have a lever situation. And all you have to do is get this down underneath the bottom part of the casing, that black part, just like that. Lift it up and then slide it back into that clip. And now when we pull up on the hood release, the hood is free and open. So in my particular case, you might have noticed when I pop the hood open, there are some extra parts underneath here. I've got a little bit of modification going on that allows that hood to automatically open up. And if you were looking really closely, you might have noticed some other extra parts that I had to add to fix this problem that we're going to talk about in just a minute. If you have just a completely stock Maverick and that cable slips out and causes your hood to get stuck, chances are going behind that trim piece and clipping that cable back in there where it's supposed to be will fix your problem. And it might stay fixed. You might have to do it every once in a blue moon if that cable pops back out, but it should be a pretty simple solution. Now, in my case, like I said a second ago, I've got some extra parts. In this particular unique situation, those parts are what is likely causing this to happen. So let's take a look at those real quick so we can understand why this is happening in the first place. On my truck, I've got the hood lift assist gas struts. The issue with these is these are great. First of all, these are awesome. Close your hood, automatically pops the hood open, holds it up so there's no longer a need for the manual strut here, which is great. But the problem with these, and it's not necessarily this brand, it's just going to be any gas strut that you put on here, is that those struts were not originally designed into the hood mechanism for the Maverick. So what happens with these is when you put these on, in this position, they're lifting the hood upwards. But when you close your hood, you'll notice that as those flatten out, now they flatten out forward and backward down the length of the truck. So with this hood closed, now those are applying forward pressure to the hood, which the latch was not designed for. The latch was designed and tuned for the hood to be in just a straight up and down position with no added pressure from those gas struts pushing forward on it. So what happens is when this closes and the mechanism goes together with that added pressure forward, now when you pull that hood release, there's some kind of weird pressure in there that causes that cable to have just a little too much tension in the wrong direction, and it's causing it to slip off of that clip above the release mechanism. And it doesn't do it every time. However, with these gas struts on there, it causes that to slip off there more often than not. So these gas struts, putting them on and having that extra pressure pushing forward when it's not designed to have that extra pressure, in my opinion, is the root cause of the problem in this particular unique situation. And it's likely that putting any gas struts on these trucks, no matter what brand they are, is probably going to have the same effect, unless they're like a super low pressure, which doesn't make sense because they need to have enough pressure to hold the hood open. So anyway, with all that being said, we have a temporary fix. If it slides off, we can just clip it back on behind that trim panel. But like I said, with these gas struts, it pops off there more often than not when you try to release the hood. So we need to fix that permanently so it doesn't happen again. And surprisingly, the solution to this is super simple. Believe it or not, the solution to this problem is just adding this little spring right here. And by adding that spring, when the hood is in the closed position, it's gonna compress that spring. It's gonna put pressure upwards, and that upwards pressure is now gonna counteract the forwards pressure that those gas struts are now putting on. And that counteraction of pressure is going to allow this mechanism to work exactly as it was supposed to. And something else that we found you can do too is these little hood bumpers right here. You can actually fine tune these. They've got some pretty fine threads up under here, so you can twist these in either direction to raise or lower them, and you can get those just perfect to where they also put that added pressure that you need. And we get the benefit of being able to use our gas struts without them causing any issues for us, which is super cool. I want you to notice too, so if you take a look inside here, watch that cable where it connects to that clip. When I pull on this, it pulls that cable ever so slightly that direction, and that ever so slight pull in towards the cab of the truck is what's causing that to slip off. And that pull is a lot more aggressive without the spring on there. Without the spring, that cable pulls just enough towards the inside of the cab with the added forward pressure that's not supposed to be there, that it causes it to slip off of that clip. And just by adding that simple little spring in there and counteracting that forward pressure, now everything works as it's supposed to, just as it does from the factory. So to answer the final question that I know you guys are gonna have for me, what is this spring even off of, since obviously it's not built originally for the Maverick, and where can you purchase one and how much does it cost? So oddly enough, this spring is off, I think, a 2008 Jeep Wrangler. I ordered this off of Amazon. You can get them for about $8. And of course, I'm gonna have a link for you down in the description where you can find this spring. It mounts up to this bolt right here, so you can see that there's a bolt on each side of the latch mechanism on the bottom of your hood. So just take that nut off. You can mount this right up there, put that nut back on. I did find the hole that this, that is on this spring right here, and this little tab is not quite large enough to go over this bolt. So I just took a little round filed it out a little bit. You can probably do it with a square file too. It doesn't really matter. The point is you just need to make the hole just like a millimeter bigger, and then you can slide it up over that, put your nut back on. So anyway, guys, this is kind of a rare, obscure issue. I haven't seen anybody in the Facebook groups at least mention this yet. So probably not an issue that a ton of people are having. However, if you are having this issue, once that hood goes down and gets locked in the closed position, it's kind of scary. So if you're someone that this issue is currently happening to and you found this video hoping to fix it, hopefully this helped you out. Also, check out the second part, which is going to be documenting the installation process of the hood lift assist struts. That video should upload real soon. I definitely like having the assist struts. They're awesome. You just have to spend the extra $8 and get the little spring to go with them to fix the problem. But they're super useful. I really like them. And there's going to be a link for the gas struts down in the description of this video as well. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.